Hi Anil, good afternoon.
Hi Srikanth, good afternoon.
Anil, go through your topic.
Okay, I am sharing my screen.
Yeah.
And today topic is about the FCCS application creation and the practice sessions which is in the activity guide. Here, in the lesson 2, we will discuss how to run the setup wizard and adding a new features using dimension, enabling the features. Here there is a task. First one is to log in the APM cloud. Before logging, we should have the URLs and the username and password. Now I am logging to the application. I given the URL. Now I'm giving the username as the APM default admin, and I am entering the password. After entering password, we need to click go. Okay. The second one, the select financial consolidation and close. After selecting, click start to open the application setup wizard. Now we will go to the application and we need to click on the start to create a new application. If you have any backups you want to migrate, you can click on the migration option and you can create the application from backup. I want to create the application from new, so I'm clicking on the start option. Once we clicking on the start option, then the application general page will appear here. Now going to the next page. Next, provide the application details and description as follows. The name is FCCS and the description is financial consolidation and close business process. Now I am entering those name and description in the general page. Now I am entering as a name as FCCS and the description as a financial consolidation and close business process. After entering details, we need to click on the next, going to the details page. In the details page, provide the following details. The number of months you need to select 12 months, and the starting year and ending year was 2020 to 2029, and the fiscal month of first month of the fiscal year was Jan, and the main currency was USD, and multi-currency was enabled. And click next. Now I will go into the application. We will select the following details. Under time period, there is a 12 months and a 13 months option. As per the activity guide, I selected 12 months and I chosen the starting year as 2020 and ending year was 2019, and the first month was Jan. Here the main currency was USD, and I selected here enabled the multi-currency option, then click on the next. Now we will land into the futures tab. Once we click on the next button, then we go to the futures space. In this futures space, there are some options where we need to enable the consolidation first to perform these futures options under consolidation. For balance sheet, we need to select as a traditional balance approach from the application. First, we need to enable the consolidation. Once you enabled, then these following futures will be appear. Once you disable, then the futures will be disappear. When the consolidation is enabled, you can calculate and adjust data perform currency translations and run consolidation rules when you select to enable the future application. For your application, I enabled the application, so here we will see some of the features. Under balance sheet, we selected as a traditional balance sheet approach. Once we selected the traditional balance sheet approach, under balance sheet we will get a two parent individual parents. One parent is about the total asset and the other one is where the total liabilities and equity, where the two aggregations will be of the parents will be zero. Coming to this, for general adjustment, we need to select S with workflow, and multi-gap we need to select S with manual adjustments. So I'm going the application. Here is the general adjustments. Here selected S with workflow, and for multi-gap we need to select S with manual adjustments. Once we select S with manual adjustments, the adjustments the principles will be chosen manually for different for countries. Once we channel adjustment we selected with S with workflow, then the workflow will be performed in the generals, like approving and rejecting. Now coming to the here the intercompany data, S with the tracking, same as intercompany entity aggregation was addition. We need to select these two more. Going to the application. Here the is the intercompany data. If you select S with the tracking means the intercompany data will be tracking. If you want to track the intercompany data, then we need to select S with the tracking. Once the intercompany data was S, then the intercompany entity aggregation was enabled to select these options. From the activity guide, we selected addition. Going to the guide. For CTA account, we need to select a balance sheet, and liquidity ratio, including ratio calculations, we need to select enable the liquidity ratio and asset management ratio and probability ratio and leverage ratio. Going to application. Here the CTA account was balance sheet, and including ratio, I am enabling the liquidity ratio and asset management, probability and leverage ratio. After selecting, we need to go to the guide, and here the ownership management was no, and there is one of the custom dimension, name is product. Now I'm here the ownership management was no, and the custom name dimension I'm giving as a product. Going to guide, and there are four options to enable, like translated currency input and parent input and contribution input and supplementary data collections. Now application, going to application. Here is the options to enable translated currency. If you use multi-currency option, then the translation currency input was enabled. Here you can see the supplementary data. If you want to work with supplementary data collections, then you need to enable the supplementary data collections options. Once we enabling, we need to click on next. Going to the next page. After clicking on the next, then there is a review, the details on the preview page. In the preview page, we will see the details which we selected in the details and future space. This is the time period which we chosen as 12 periods, and these are the futures which we enabled. After reviewing, then we need to click on create. Now the application was creating. It shows the status of the application. clicking the create to start the application creation status. The application will be created within 10 to 15 minutes. We need to wait for 10 to 15 minutes for the creation of the application. After creation of the application, we will see how to use the application. Now it shows the application creation was successful. The status was. Once it shows, then you need to click on OK. After clicking on OK, we will land in the home page of the application. The application home page will be appeared on the application is created successful. After that, adding a new features using enabling future options. How we will you see how to add a new features using enabling features. First, we need to log on to the application. After that, click on to the application cluster and then select the configuration card under application cluster. Now go to application. Here is the application cluster. Click on the application cluster. There is a configuration card here. Click on the configuration card. On the configuration place, click enabling features, then select owner management and equity pickup and partner eliminations here. Now going to the configuration page, click enable features. Here is the option and enabling features. Click on here. Now the features which we added in our creation, which we selected, those are enabled here. Now, as per the guide, we need to select the ownership management. After enabling it, we have options to select equity pickup and partner eliminations. We need to select both. Once we selecting, after then select these. Then click enable to enable the selected features, and you will receive the following message once your process is completed. Now we will enable, click on the enable. Here is the enable option. We need to click on the enable. The future we are choosing will be enabled. Do you wish to continue? Yes, we need to click on the S to confirm to continue the process. It takes 5 to 10 minutes to enable the to add the new enabling features to the existing application. So we need to wait for 5 to 10 minutes. Now the consolidation function that you have selected was successfully enabled. Before you can use the features, sign out and sign in again. Then click on OK. You will receive the message. We got the message as the consolidation functionality that you was selected was successful enabled. Before you can use these features, sign out and then sign in again. Now let's we go to application and sign out. Now again we need to log into the application by clicking on the go. This shows you how to create the application and how to add the new features to for existing application. Now going to the activity guide for practice, and I will see the practice session 3 of for FCCS. Under this practice 3, we will see how to navigate predefined dimensions, forms, rules, and valid intersections, and how to manage the periods in the application, and how to create a new custom navigation flow. Testing in practice 1, you need to log in. Already we have logged in to the application. Now click on application after logging in. Click on overview to view the application information. Now going to the application. Uh, Under applications, there is a overview card. Click on overview card. All right. Now click the dimension tab to view the dimension details. From application, here is the dimension tab. Click on the dimension tab. Uh, Here now you will see the dimensions which was created. Account dimension and movement period consolidation data source. Based on the enabling features, these dimensions was created. Multi-gap, once we enable the multi-gap dimension will created and intercompany for years. These are the dimensions. Now fourth point, click on actions to view the different actions available. Now we will see in the application what are the actions there in our application. This is the actions. Clicking on the actions, we will get the list of actions like where we can import data and export data, where copy and clear the data. For metadata, we can validate the metadata to refresh the database. Here is the refresh database option. If you want to remove the application, if you want to delete, you can, by using this option, we can remove and delete. Here is the inbox and outbox explorer, where the files will be stored based on the server. Now the fifth point, click the navigation icon. Under you need to select a user preference under tools. After selecting user preference, explore the options in the following category. Now we will go to the application. Here is the navigation. Under tools cluster, there is the user preference card. Click on the user preference card. Now we will. These are the categories. Following categories. Here is the general. Here you can select the time zone for the application. Here I'm selecting the Indian Kolkata time. These are the different countries time zones you can select based on the your application which time zone you want. I'm searching for Indian. Kolkata is our Indian time zone. Japan, Korea, Singapore, China, Western, Bangladesh, Eastern. Here is the Indian Kolkata. I'm selecting. You can set the profile and the name aliases settings and approvals. Here you can see the approvals like display aliases, and if you want to enable you can enable, and after enabling making changes we need to click on the save to change these features. Now the user preference has been saved successfully. You can select here the languages, the application language, and here is the display properties for number formatting. If you want 1,000 separators, you can decimal separators, you negative signs and negative color, you can select those in the number formatting. And in page formatting, page options, number of items on the page drop down list, and other options are some of the other options. So consolidation operations, and date formats and currencies for reporting. In the notification you will see you can give the email IDs here, and notification for task list and approvals and job consoles, and you can set the timings for to get the email before, like last notifications and status change notification, due dates, reminding for all email related notifications. We come and set the we can set here for ad hoc analysis. Click on ad hoc analysis option. Here you will see the separations, like you want to suppress the data for rows and columns with zeros, and separate and precisions. If you want to add the precisions you can, and replacements if you want to do any replacements for no data. And for ad hoc analysis options, there is a members inclusion, zoom in, and display member label properties. Some of the properties here. After enabling, you need to click on the save. For user variable. Here we will see for user variable where the users can select the members on his preference. Here is the member selector where the users can select the particular dimension members here, and after selecting he need to click on the save to save on his preference. On the report we will see the reports as a financial reports and the reports, uh, the units of the measurements, and previewing the EOVs for that report. Under form printing we can give the details, the paper size and the color and layout settings and the page settings, and there are some of the other options about the form printing purpose. Based on enabling, the form will be printed. After, if you want any change you can change, and you can click on save option. Now going to the activity guide. Now click on the navigator, then select services. Under application, review the status. If you want to see the services, now going to the application, click on the navigator. On the navigator application cluster, there is the service card. Click on the service card. Here you can see the services which was default in our application, like in email notification and process supplementary data forms and system maintenance. These are the predefined services while creating our application. Now the ninth point, click the home icon to return the home page. After, now go to the application. Now I am going clicking on the home page to back to the home application. From the activity guide, the task is first we need to click on the navigator, then select the dimensions under create and manage, select account dimension. From the application, we need to set from application we need to select navigator. Under create and manage, we need to select the dimensions. From the navigator, create and manage, here is the dimension card. Click on the dimension card. After appearing, here is the dimension. If you want to select which dimension you want, you can select. From the activity guide, he shows that you need to select account. If you view the predefined account in select account dimensions, I have selected the account and dimension. After selecting, we need to preview predefined accounts in the dimension sheet, balance sheet. Now go to account dimension, expand here is the balance sheet. You need to expand based on the enabling features we selected as a traditional approach. As I earlier said, the two parent members will be created as a total asset and total liability and equity separately. Now click the home icon, then select data card. Now from navigation, click on data card. Now go to the activity guide. The fifth point, under FCCS balance sheet, select FCCS balance sheet by period form. We need to open this is the FCCS balance sheet folder. We need to expand. After expand, this is the form FCCS balance sheet by period, which is mentioned in the activity guide. Click on the form. Then the form will opens. There are no valid combination of data for this form, particular form. If you want to close the one, you can close here, close the tab. Then click close to the form, close the form. Now click the home icon and then select the rules card to launch icon. Now from application, click on the home page. Here is the rules card. Click on the rule card. These are the predefined business rules. From activity guide, we selected click the launch icon for consolidation business rule. After launching, after clicking on the launch, we can review the fields that then click cancel. From application, here is the consolidation rule. Now we need to click on the launch. Now we will see the combinations which the user can select from entities where the user can select the entity members here. Same as well as period from user can enter the period, select the periods for the year. Here we selected as a Jan, February, so here we can get those months. After all selection, the user want to launch, he can click on the launch option. From activity guide, we clicking on the cancel option. Now the 10th point, now click the home icon and then select valid intersection under application cluster. Now click on the home icon. Here is a home icon. Click on the home icon. Under applications, we click on applications. There is a valid intersection card. Click on the valid intersection card. Now we will see the existing valid intersections which were created. Now names started with the prefix FCCS and valid intersection page are predefined. Click on any valid intersections to view the details. Now we'll go to the application. This is FCCS is the prefix. These all are a predefined valid intersections. If you want to open the valid intersection, you need to click on the name of the valid intersection. Here you will see the anchor dimension and non-anchor dimensions and what are the rules will added here. You can see that we cannot modify it. We need to click on cancel. These are the details and the valid intersections of going to the guide. Here is the part 4. Click the home icon. Select manage periods under application cluster. If you want to manage the periods, you can manage by going to there is a manage period cards under application cluster. Now we'll see how to manage the periods from the home icon. Here is application cluster. Click on the application cluster. There is the manage period card. Click on the manage period card. Here is the periods. Now activity guide. Going to the now verify scenario as actual and select a period as a year as 2020. Not in order to change the scenario and year, select dimension and change the numbers. After selecting those, then click the go icon. We'll go to the application. Here is scenario already selected as actual and here is FY21 and I will show how to add it. Based on the selection, you can select any of the year, but from activity guide it was FY20. I selected FY20. After selecting, we need to click on OK. After that, we need to click on the go icon here. After clicking go, the periods will appear for that combination. Then click the action icon at the end of the Jan row. After clicking on the actions, we need to select open. Note the status of Jan will change it to open once you click on the open. Now we'll see. Here is the action icon for Jan period. Now click on the action icon. Here we'll see two options, open or close. Initially, all the status of the periods was unopened. From the activity guide, we will he said to open. Now the status for clicking on the open, the status will changes to opened. Now the status of Jan will change it to open as we seen in the application. Now we will see how to create a custom navigation flow. For the creation of the custom navigation flow task, we need to click on the home icon. After that, clicking on the home icon, we need to select the tool cluster and then select the navigation flow from application. This is the home screen. Clicking on the home screen, we need to go select the tools cluster, then select the navigation flow. Here is the tools cluster. Click on the tools cluster. We will see here the navigation flow. Click on the navigation flow. Here is the default navigation flow. Then now click on actions. Select create copy to create a copy of the default navigation flow. Now we will create the copy. Here is the actions. Here actions, there is a create copy option. Once you creating, click on the action, then we need to give the name for the custom navigation flow. If we if it the following name should be a custom navigator ORA of 001, we need to give the name. As mentioned in the activity guide, I am giving the name as a custom navigator Oracle 001. After giving name, we need to click on the Go option. Then click OK. I have already clicked on OK. Now sixth point, click on the newly created navigation flow. Then remove the task dashboard and infolet by clicking the remove icon. Now we will how to remove the cards from that we will see. First we need to click on the name of the navigation flow. Now we will see here the cards and clusters of a particular navigation flow. As per the activity guide, we need to remove the task dashboard and infolet. Uh, Here is the task. Here is the remove icon. We need to click on remove. Then click on S. Then the task will be removed from the navigation and click on dashboards. Click on S. And same as for infolets, click on yes. Now those cards are not available for the custom navigation flow, for that custom navigation flow. Then click in the dialog box that appears, which we created. Now assign these navigation flows to any of the user or groups. Click the magnifier icon beside the assign to the box. Now we will see how the navigation flow will assign for that particular any user. Select service administrator group, then click on OK. Here is the assigning to. Here we can search the users as per the activity guide. I am selecting the user service administrator. After selecting, we need to click on OK. Now the service administrator has been assigned for the custom navigation. Then we need to click on the save and close icon to save those changes which we made. Here is the save and close option. After save and close, now here we can see the role was assigned for the administrator for the customer navigation. Go to the activity, select inactive to make the navigation flow to active. After active, now log out and sign into the application. Here is the inactive, click on inactive. Now it was active. Now we need to go to sign out, and once we log in to our application, you will notice the task dashboard and info list cluster do not appear on the home page anymore. Now we will see how. Now you can see here the dashboards and task and infolets cards are not appear here. These are the icons, the cards and clusters we will see on our home page. Now repeat the steps from 1 to 13, this time to give the name to the navigation flow as a custom navigation 2 and remove task from the navigation flow and assign to the power user. And we will repeat those steps and we create another custom navigation flow and remove only the tasks from it. From navigation. we need to click on the navigation flow. Again, we need to select default one, and you need to click on create copy. Here we need to give the name as custom underscore navigation kill 002. After giving the name, we need to click on OK, and now we need to assign, click on the name of the cluster. As said in the activity guide, we need to remove the task. Click on S in the dialog box, and we need to assign to the power user role. After selecting power user, you need to click on OK. After selecting assigning, you need to click on save and close. Now the custom navigation tool was created, and it was assigned to the power user role. Now go to activity guide. After selecting, we need to change the inactive status to active, and log out and log in as admin. Now again we need to, here is the inactive state, we need to change it to active. After active, we need to sign out and sign in again once again to the application. Click on go to log into the application. After login as admin, you can now switch between them by clicking the navigation flow icon and then select the flow. You can switch by clicking on the name of the navigation flow. At last, select the default navigation flow as active and remaining all as inactive. Now we will go to the application. Here is the navigation flow icon. Click on the navigation flow icon. Here we will see the navigations, custom navigation 2 and 1. After, now we are on the navigation 1. So I'm now switching to navigation 2, which here removed the only the task card. So I'm going to the default, switching to the default navigation flow by clicking on the default name. Now I have switched, and as per the activity guide, I am inactivating the custom navigation flows from the clicking on the navigation flows. Here active state to inactive I am changing. No, clicking on the active. Only he said to keep the default one as active, where the users can switch from one navigation flow to other navigation flow. We use the navigation flows. Now go to the next page. Now the practice session 3 was completed, where we created the custom navigation flows. Now lesson 4. In this lesson 4, we will add the account and entities, and adding members to the movement dimension, and adding currencies for that dimensions. For that, we need to log into the application. After logging to the application, we need second point is to add the dimension numbers. Click on the navigator, and then click dimension under create and manage. Then select account dimensions. Now we will go to the application. From the navigation, here is create and manage. Under that there is a dimension card. Click on the dimension card. After, you need to select here that account dimension. After selecting, after then expand FCCS balance, and expand FCCS total balance sheet traditional approach, and expand FCCS total asset, and then select FCCS current asset account. Then now after selecting FCCS current asset, we need to click on add child. Here is the balance sheet. I am expanding here the traditional approach. Here is the total asset. Now here we can see the current asset. After selecting current asset, we need to here is the add child option, or you can go on actions option. There is a add child. Click on the add child option. After selecting, we will land into the member properties page for the child. Now going to the activity guide. Give the name as investments and aliases as same as investments, and then click save. Now going to the application, here is the name. We need to give as a name as investments, and same for description. After giving the aliases and names, descriptions and names, here is the aliases also. You can give the name as aliases for. After giving the name and description, we need to click on the save option to save the member properties, which after saving, the member will be created under FCCS. Under FCCS current asset, we will see one of the child which is added as a investments. Now go to application. Now under FCCS investments, under member, add a child account by selecting investments and then click add child. Now we go to the application. Here is the investment. Now click on the investment and click to add a new child for the investment. After clicking on the new child, give the name as a investments current and aliases as a investment current, and for data storage you give the never share, type as never share. I am here giving the name as investment underscore current, and the description as a investment current. After giving name and description, here is the data storage type. Once we select never share, then the type for that member, the data will never share with any other dimensions. After selecting, we need to click on save to save the member, save the child. This is the creation of the children's in account dimensions. And the 10th point is add two more child accounts under investments account with the following details. He said he wants to create two more childs for investment accounts. The name is as and collective investment rules LISS, and the data storage say. Now going to now click on the investments. Click on add child. Give the name as public. And the aliases is the collective investment funds. And data storage as an best share. After we need to click on save to add the child, and one more child he is set to add. Click on the investments and click on add child, and we will see as a CWA corp bonds and corporate bonds. The data storage as another share. Under description also we need to give corporation bonds. Here data storage is never shared. After selecting, we need to click on save. Here we will see the three members which we three childs which we added under investments. Make sure your hierarchy will look like the following screenshot which we shown here. Now select entity dimension. For entity dimension drop down list from the after selecting entity dimension, we need to select FCCS total geography and then click on add child from application. Here is the dimension drop down. We need to select on entity dimension. Here is the total geography. Select the member and click on add child. Now the member properties will be displayed here. Now give the name as a segments and aliases as segments and the base currency as USD. After giving the details, you need to click on the save to add the child under FCCS total geography. Now name as a segments, description as segments, and aliases as segment and base currency as USD. So I given the description, but it was aliases name. And here the base currency already it was chosen as USD. After selecting, we need to click on save. Now you will see the segments under total geography. Now similarly added two childs under segment dimension, name as EN01 and alias as 01. He said he want to create a child under segments as a name as EN01. Clicking on the name here, we need to give as EN0, entity 01, and the alias is as EN01, and the base currency is USD. And then click on save. Now here you will see the EN01 child added for the segments. Now 17 point, give name EN01 which we done. Now coming to 18th. Now under the EN01 entity, add two more child entities with the following details. And we will add two more childs for EN01. Selecting EN01, click on the add child. Now give the name as EN01 underscore 05. For aliases, we need to give as a EN0105 New York, EN01 underscore 05 underscore New York. After giving details, you need base currency already selected as USD. You need to click on save. Now the member was created. After you need to click on here and add one more child. Name as EN0106 and the aliases as EN01 Boston and the base currency was USD. Aliases EN01 underscore 06 underscore Boston and the base currency as USD and click on save to save the child. Now we will see the two numbers. You can move for up and down. Then you can move this EN01 to up and down the children's. Make sure your hierarchy will look like the screenshot as segments under EN01 and 5 and 6. Here you can see here is the segment, here is the EN01 entity. Under that you will see 5 and 6 as per the picture here. Now going to the next page. From practice 4.2, here you can add members to the movement dimension. Now go to the dimension page. Here you need to select the movement dimension. After selecting the movement dimension, go to activity guide. Search for FCCS movement underscore subtotal in the search box. Then click search down. Now we will search for that number. Here is a search bar. Give the name as FCCS underscore movement and subtotal. You need to give the name as it is. If give the name different, it throws an the no number will display here. Then click on the down arrow. This is up arrow and you need to click on the down arrow. Then the number will be searched from the hierarchy. Here is the member FCCS movement subtotal. Now select FCCS movement subtotal, then click add child for that under that member and give the name as movement balance sheet and analysis as changing in balance sheet. Now going to the application, I have selected the FCCS movement subtotal and click on add child. We need to give the name as in the activity guide as movement balance sheet. After giving the name, we need to give the analysis as a change in balance sheet. Here is the analysis. We need to give changes in balance sheet. Analysis is nothing but another name of the number. Changes in balance sheet. After giving the name, we need to click on save. Then we need to click on the save. Then we will see the number under FCCS total balance sheet. Now I am clicking the save option to save the. Here is the FCCS subtotal. Under that we get the balance sheet, moment balance sheet number. Child. Now another for adding currencies is we need to go to the dimension and add currencies. Here we need to select the currencies currency dimension. Click on the currency. Now go to activity guide. Select USD in the input currency, then click add currency. Now go to application. Here is the input currency. Then you need to select USD and click add new currency. After clicking add, then select euro, then click save. Then the euro will be added in the hierarchy. Now go to application. Search these are the currencies. Now you need to select euro currency. Here is the euro. After selecting, we need to click on save. we will see in under input currency the euro is added as the image in the activity guide. The euro will be added in our hierarchy. Similarly, add AUD and GDP and INR. Now we will add those three currencies. Now clicking on the plus icon, select AUD, GDP and INR. Here is the Indian rupee. After by selected by control, AUD, here is the GDP. I'm adding one currencies. First clicking on the AUD. After clicking save, we get the AUD here after another one by clicking on the add icon. Here is the GDP, selecting GDP and click on save. And another currency, Indian currency I want, so I'm clicking on the plus icon and here is the Indian rupee. Now click on and save. Now expand the currency to see whether here you can see the Indian rupee and GDP and AUD currencies are added under input currency. This shows how we can add the currencies and numbers for account dimension and movement and then entities. And now coming to the practice lesson 5 about importing and exporting dimension metadata. For 5.1, modify a metadata.csv. Here we need to log into our application and click on the home page. Click on application cluster. There is a overview card. Click on dimension. Then click on export to export the metadata page. Now go to application. Click on the home icon. Here is the application cluster. Click on the application cluster. Here is the overview card. Click on overview card. After clicking, we need to click on the dimension. Clicking the dimension tab, then click the export option. Here is the export option. To export the metadata, we need to, after clicking on export, we need to create on the export metadata page, click create, which we clicked. Then select the target location as a local to export the file to our system. After selecting the location, we need to select the account and entity dimension to export. Now go to application. Here is the location. I selected as a local to download the file to our local machine, and he said to download the account and entity dimension. So I selected to and click on export to export the file. Now here we can see the file was downloading in the zip format. And the file type we need to select as a comma delimited and click export. and close the export metadata page. Here is the file type which it was selected already as a comma delimited. Now close the import text export metadata. Now here you can see the file was downloaded to our local machine. This is the exporting the how this is the process of exporting the metadata. Now the 5.2 shows how to import a metadata from CSV file. Now extract the exported metadata file zip file and open the admin exported account.csv file. Here is the file and click on open. So important. He said to extract the zip file. Here is the file and I'm now extracting all. Click on extract. Now the file will be extracted. Here is the two files, which one is of account dimension and the other one is for entity dimension. Now I'm opening the file and here you can see this file is about account dimension. And freeze the top row of the file from the view tab and go to last row of the file and enter these details like account as total account and parent as account and aliases name as a total account and validate for consolidation and data source type is storage and data type is currency and hierarchy type is dynamic and the type of account is revenue and select the time balance as balance and if you want to skip the value you selected here and here selecting as a none and validation reports reporting was non-expense and the source plan type was console and the plan type was console so we need to enter as a true and aggregation was addition we selected in the creation of the application we need to give plus icon and data store as a never storage never after entering these details uh, keep the remaining details as in then click save as the file name as import file.csv. I have already I have already added those. I'm opening the existing Excel sheet which I have already added those names under below the rows at last under last row. Here the total account and here the account which is in the practice session. Same parent as account and alias name as total account. Validation for consolidation it is as a false and data storage type is as a store and the currency we selected and see all details we have given as a revenue and balance and for script value I am given as a none and the type is given as a consult. Here is the plus icon of aggregation and the data storage type is as a never store given. After that we need to save the file as import file.csv given name as import file.csv import file, and here we chosen as a comma delimited file, and we need to say in our local and click on save, and then the file will be saved with the name as import file. Now go to the activity guide, go to next page. Now we have saved the file name with the imported file. Now Now close the file. If prompt to save the file against, click do not save. Go back to the business process, and while selecting in the dimension tab, click import, and then click create option. Go to application. Here is the dimension. Click on import. Click here create. To create the import metadata, I have clicked the import and then create. Now the 11th point is browse to the account file modified on the local system. For account you need to browse, then we need to click on import. Here the browsing, I'm just closing the Excel. Now I'm browsing the file from our local machine. Which I saved as a name as the import file. Here is an import file X. Now click on open. Now the CSV file was added here, and the type of the file is comma delimited. Then we need to click on import as in the activity guide. Then click import, then click create. After that, we need to, after browsing from local machine, click import. Then click OK without checking the refresh button. Then click OK and close all dialog boxes. Now click on import. To import the without checking, we need to click on OK. Now the import metadata job submitted successfully. Then click on OK. Go to the 15th point is click jobs to check if the import is successful or not. We can check the file was metadata file was imported successfully or not. We need to close. Here is the job card. Click on the job card. Here we can see the recently activities which the imported metadata was completed successfully. Once successful, then go to navigation and click on the dimensions under create and manage. Check if the total account dimension was created successful or not. We will see from the navigator. Here is the create and management under a dimension. Click on the dimensions card. Here expand the balance. Here is the total account which we entered in the Excel, which is added here as per in the activity guide. Now import another account and entity dimension file available in your log folders. Then you need to select refresh database if import metadata is successful while importing. Then under after refreshing database, the under recent jobs under recent activity, it shows the refresh database was completed. Now we need to go to overview to refresh the database. Now under actions, There is a refresh database. Click on refresh database, then create. Click on create. Now you need to click on refresh database and refresh button. And now the refreshing of metadata was scheduled and it was running. The status was running. It takes 2 minutes. Or you can run in the background by clicking the issue option. Once the refresh was database was successful, then it shows in the job card where it was successfully refreshed or not. By clicking it, run in background, it will runs in the background, and then you close. We will check in the job card whether it is in process state or it was completed successful. Here the refresh data was processing, so the status shows as processing. Once it completed, then the refresh database will shows completed. One of the refresh database was completed for post processing. You need to click on refresh. Now the completion refresh data was so successful. This is how we created the application, and we adding the members for account dimension for childs. We are adding childs and how to import and export the metadata. Today topics this much, and thank you, Shrikant.
Yeah, thank you, Anil. Have a nice day.
Thank you.